United States Supreme Court today rejected Tahawwur Rana's plea to get a stay on his extradition to India over the Mumbai attacks. Tahawwur Rana's attempts to delay his extradition come after Donald Trump confirmed that they will be handing him over to India and called him a violent man. Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistani Canadian who is linked to Lashkar-e-Toiba and David Headley and is a key in planning the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Now, in his emergency application, Tahawwur Rana has claimed that he would face torture in India if extradited because he is a Muslim of Pakistani origin. The application also argued on Tahawwur Rana's alleged health issues, where he says he has got multiple heart attacks, kidney diseases and also a possible bladder cancer. But the plea has been rejected and Tahawwur Rana has made an appeal to the Chief Justice. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that they are working closely with the US government to complete the necessary formalities for his extradition to India. Let's start our conversation. Ambassador Suresh Goyal, thank you for joining us. And you know, the question that before I come to you, Ambassador Goyal, I have with me Ujjwal Nigam, who's the special public prosecutor of the 2611 terror attack case that he handled. Thank you very much, Mr. Ujjwal Nigam, for joining me. And the question about President of United States of America, Donald Trump, having announced Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. What is holding up the case? How long will it be when Tahawwur Rana is going to be brought back to India?
See, the last attempt which Tahawwur Rana has desperately tried, he tried to play a minority card, alleging that he being in a Pakistani Muslim origin. So he expressed his fear that he will be ill-treated, he will be tortured in India if he will be extradited to India. And therefore he approached to the Supreme Court of US, but Supreme Court of US has summarily rejected his argument as there was no merit in the said allegation. Secondly, he has also
Right, absolutely. So, again the question, why do you think Tahawwur Rana is claiming that him being a Muslim man of Pakistani descent is going to be the cause of his alleged death in the country?
Because Tahawwur Rana knows for certain that he has no case at all, and I am also for certain his plea will not be accepted for the simple reason the Pakistan origin Ajmal Amir Kasab and his 9 deceased colleagues who had attacked Mumbai on the night of the 26th November. All the 9 terrorists were killed in police encounter. Ajmal Kasab was tried in Mumbai court. I marshaled the evidence against Ajmal Kasab in the Mumbai court, and that we have conducted trial in open court, giving a fair chance to Ajmal Kasab for his defense. And not only that, that after giving all opportunity to Ajmal Kasab, he was ultimately convicted by our courts. So when I had visited Islamabad as a member of the Indian High Official Commission delegation, then even the Pakistani authorities did not raise any question that Kasab will not be fairly tried or Kasab was tortured in India. So everybody knows that India is a such big democratic country where there is a full transparency in the judiciary, and all the accused have a right to make any complaint to the court of law if he's being ill-treated. So I'm 100% sure that even if Tahawwur Rana will make an appeal to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of US, it would be of no use.
Ujjwal Nigam, what do you see happening in the next few days in this case, now that Tahawwur Rana has appealed before the Chief Justice of United States. How long will this entire process take to conclude before he's brought back?
See, now it is a question of only few days, because Tahawwur Rana approached the Supreme Court of India making and playing a minority card in US, but ultimately that was rejected. Even if he raised the plea, it will have the same fate. And therefore, the process, that is, I can say certain formalities will require to be completed, because US administration has taken a very bold decision to extradite Tahawwur Rana immediately after his all legal options are being exhausted. So US President Mr. Donald Trump has made it very clear to our Prime Minister that US doesn't want to keep such bad elements on the land of their soil who try to indulge in terrorist activities in India. So once US administration passed the order, and once Tahawwur Rana's all legal remedies are being exhausted, then only it's a question of few days.
Do you think Tahawwur Rana's interrogation will be the final nail in the coffin in exposing Pakistan and ISI's role in 26/11?
I won't say that it will be a final nail, because there are still some of the offenders are at large in Pakistan. We don't know what the Pakistani authorities are doing so far as the perpetrators of the terror attack of 26 November. Now, no doubt, they say that the trial is ongoing trial, but it is in camera. We have finished the trial of 26 November 2008 within a couple of years, that is 2 years. However, we don't know the progress of the trial, and the Pakistani investigating agency had arrested only very small fishes. In fact, the very small people were not that way very major role in the criminal conspiracy. The person who played a major role in criminal conspiracy is Hafiz Saeed, Zakir Rahman Lakfi. Unless they are booked, unless Pakistani authority take action against such against such army official whose names are being revealed by David Headley in Mumbai court, I won't say that it will be a complete justice to the departed soul of 26 November.
Thank you, Mr. Ujjwal Nigam, for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views. I am being joined right now by Ambassador Suresh Goyal. Ambassador Goyal, how do you perceive this case to play out when Tahawwur Rana is going to be extradited to India? And also, it's been 17 long years. The idea is to have swift justice. Can this now be done swiftly and fast as soon as he is extradited?
Megha, we all need to be very patient as far as the matters of law are concerned, particularly when the matters of law are related to India and the USA, where the wheels of law move very, very slowly, even very deliberately, simply because they want to be absolutely certain that when a decision is pronounced, it is correct in law, it is correct in all forms and everything. And therefore, in the case of Tahawwur Rana also, various steps have been taken, several doors have been closed. Now he has gone to the Supreme Court Chief Justice, where he has presented the case. Hopefully, I want to be as optimistic as Mr. Ujjwal Nigam is, but I want to basically leave the scope for delays. The delays can take place anytime, really, till the decision is taken. And even after the Supreme Court Chief Justice has pronounced that he needs to be extradited, I do not know if there is any further legal door to be closed or not. Therefore, I can only remain hopeful that Supreme Court Chief Justice will pronounce on this case quickly, swiftly, and that Tahawwur Rana will be able to be sent to India within the next few weeks. But we have to wait patiently and see that the ends of justice are served in this case.
Okay. Professor Madhav Nalapat, why do you think it has taken United States of America 17 long years despite us demanding the extradition of Tahawwur Rana and David Headley, both of them to be brought to India and to be tried in our court? But this has not been done up until now, and only after 17 years, when Donald Trump of the Republican Party comes to power, is this action that has been taken.
Well, I would say that this is the first administration to basically pursue this case seriously. I don't believe any of the predecessors of Donald Trump. And frankly, in his first term, Donald Trump was sabotaged from within by his own team. But second term is very different. I mean, this is now his second term. And I mean, from my understanding of the US legal system, all the justices of the US Supreme Court sit together and decide a case by majority or minority. The chairman is the chief justice is the casting vote if needed. But otherwise, they all sit together. I have not come across a situation in which somebody can appeal to a chief justice against a decision of the US Supreme Court. So quite frankly, I think this is probably a desperate attempt. But in my view, he will be coming back very soon to face justice in India. Because in my view, in the US system, there's no such thing as appealing to the chief justice. All justices sit together, and the chief is basically got a casting vote. Otherwise, it's the same as any other justice when it comes to dispensation of justice. So I am quite hopeful, Megha, that this person will be brought back soon, and we'll be able to question him and find out exactly more about the motivations and the plotting that took place prior to this terrible terror attack of 26/11. It's been a long time since the victims got justice.
Yeah.
And I think this will be an important part of that justice once he comes back. Thank you.
Absolutely. Major General Asthana, how are we going to proceed from here? It's been 17 years. Do you think it is going to take more number of months for the law to take its course once Tahawwur Rana is brought back to India? And of course, the other prickly thorn is, the extradition of David Headley, who was also involved in the 26/11 attack. We have not been able to gain much ground in that direction in terms of cooperation from the US authorities.
We have to be hopeful with the present administration, because it has shown political will to extricate the terrorists, and Tahawwur Rana is the first case. Maybe that Headley's case could also follow. I am sure the government of India is pursuing that with equal vigor. So therefore, if the same logic holds good, if Rana can be extradited, we can certainly hope that Headley can also be extradited. That's number one. Number two, I think in President Trump, in some of his statements, has also talked of, even in joint statement, that the perpetrators of 26/11 should be brought to justice in reference to Pakistan. So I think, although as you rightly said, and as was rightly mentioned earlier as well, that the smaller elements are being questioned there, Hafiz Saeed and others, they are not being questioned. But certainly there is a need for us to work on that direction as well. Also, when he comes to India, that was the second part of your question. I think our courts also have been at times delaying tremendously. And there also, I think we need to be a little fast as far as the delivery of justice is concerned. Because the trials did take fair amount of time. There is no doubt that nobody can short circuit the legal procedures, and they should be better handled with care and with all kinds of convictions. But notwithstanding that, there has been delays. We know a number of cases which has happened earlier. We hope that that doesn't happen this time once he is brought in. The chances of his coming here are certainly very bright, in a manner that these are delay tactics. which he is trying out, there is no ground to believe that even for the US court, for the simple reason, as the example was very rightly given, that Kasab trial was an open trial, unlike Pakistan. He was given every possible help to defend himself. So in Indian system, and Kasab was also a Pakistani and a Muslim. His logic doesn't hold good here. If Kasab can get fair treatment and a fair justice and a fair trial here in India, there is no reason why Rana will not get it, and there is also no reason why Headley will not get it once in case he comes here. So I think we will have to pursue Headley's case as well.
Okay. Ambassador Goyal, now, bringing these culprits back in India, and there have been evidences and proofs that we have gathered over the years in the last 17 years. Can there be a possibility that more evidence could be gathered by way of interrogations and investigations with these individuals, with Tahawwur Rana, and to establish the involvement of the Pakistani government in plotting this attack that took place in 2008?
See, as far as involvement of Pakistan government in November 26 November case is concerned, I think that has been proved over and over again. Kasab case also brought out all the elements of Pakistani involvement. There have been several evidence. Therefore, I don't think that proving the involvement of Pakistan in the case is in doubt anymore, really. But it is just that whenever these things happen, whether Pakistan will actually take cognizance of this at an official level, whether Pakistan will bend its behavior, whether Pakistan will change its ways at all or not, I think Pakistan will actually admit openly to having been part of that conspiracy. Those are different things altogether. Those are not the issues of law. Those are the issues of the international behavior. And therefore, even when Tahawwur Rana comes back to India, faces the justice, first of all, I'm not quite sure whether the case will be settled within a few months or it will not drag on to at least a year, if not more. I'm not certain. Our procedures are such. And therefore, even after that, whether Pakistan will change its ways, it's entirely a different matter. So, let us face it. Tahawwur Rana being produced before a court in India and being convicted itself will be a great achievement. What happens afterwards, we should not really think of that for the time being. Yeah.
Professor Nalapet, as was rightfully mentioned by Major General Shashi Asthana, we have gotten these people who have been involved in the 26/11 attack. Kasab was hanged. We have finally been able to catch hold of Tahawwur Rana, bringing back. There is likelihood that David Headley may also be brought back to India and put on trial. But the key orchestrator, the mastermind behind it, Hafiz Saeed, continues to be given safe havens in Pakistan. And we are just not able to do anything about it. So do you think that after Tahawwur Rana is brought back, he's put on trial, put behind bars, executed, if that's the verdict that comes from the highest court, should we be satisfied and be happy that we've been able to achieve this much, because the likelihood of then taking it up a notch higher and desiring that Hafiz Saeed be brought to India and to be tried over here in our court is next to nil?
Well, it's, as you said, it's next to nil. So there's no harm in keeping on trying, and no harm in trying to ensure justice for the victims of 26/11. And don't forget, there were not only Indians, there were Americans, there were Israelis, there were multiple nationalities involved in that particular operation. And that's where I think Pakistan made a huge mistake. All these foreigners were also killed. And thereafter, these foreign governments started researching on Pakistan. And they found the involvement of the Pakistan military in these activities, terror activities. I want to say that Hafiz Saeed is not the the actual planner. The planner would have been the then head of the ISI, and that would have been the planner, and he would have got permission from the chief of the army staff. So quite frankly, it is those people in the Pakistan army who would be the main conspirators. And yes, Megha, I share the skepticism that any of them is ever going to be brought back to India. None of them is going to be brought back to India. So each time, if anyone is brought back to India, it becomes one more, situation in which he becomes a witness against what the activities of the Pakistan military. And let's face it, even today, the Pakistan military runs the Pakistan state. The Pakistan government is helpless before the Pakistan military. So let's face the facts. Given the situation of control by the military, it's very doubtful that any of them will come back. But that doesn't mean we should not keep trying. That doesn't mean we should not keep mentioning about the atrocity that was carried out on that particular day. I mean, so I think we should persist in that. And we are definitely persisting in that, Megha. The chances may be slim, but the chances, as you correctly said, are not nil.
Okay. Coming back to you, Major General Shashi Asthana, then, a precedent that has been set by America, the 2001 9/11 attacks that took place, and after that, the reaction that came from America shook the entire world. Osama bin Laden was hunted down and shot in Pakistan, in Abbottabad. Do you think similar options are available with us on the table for the Indian government, for the Indian establishment, or it's much more complex than we think it is?
No, I think such options are available. If Israel can do it and Israel can get their perpetrators to justice somewhere in the other countries, there is no reason why India cannot handle covert operations. And I'm certainly waiting for some unknown guy knocking off Hafiz Saeed some of these days. Let's hope. How it happens, how and when is, of course, is a matter of people who are supposed to be dealing with it. But notwithstanding that, there is no reason why a covert option, if it can be used by America, if it can be used by Israel, there is no reason why we should not be using such covert operation. And such deterrence must be created because the entire world feels, there are a whole lot of writers who have written that India is a sponge which absorbs terrorism and India is too soft on terrorists. Now, this is something, and we did see that a lot of political, shall I say, shelter was given earlier, about 10-15 years back, in Kashmir to a number of terrorists too. So therefore, there is no reason why we shouldn't be exploring all the options, and covert options have been there. They are not only now, they were there during Chandragupta Maurya time also. So I don't think we should rule out a covert option.
Okay.
They are available.
Okay, all right. I'm out of time, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me on the telecast, and we will be closely watching all the developments with regards to the extradition of Tahawwur Rana. Now, it's a matter of days when that flight taking Tahawwur Rana will land in India, and the proceedings will be carried forward in the court of law here in India. Thanks for watching NewsX.